want to start with something most men feel but rarely talk about. That moment when nothing obvious is happening, yet everything feels charged. She isn't flirting loudly, she isn't touching you, she isn't saying anything risky. And still, something in the air shifts. Maybe you felt it sitting across from someone, where the conversation feels normal on the surface, but underneath, there's a pull you can't explain. You notice the pauses feel heavier. Eye contact lingers just a second longer than necessary. The space between you suddenly feels intentional. Here's the part most people miss. Real desire almost never announces itself. When attraction turns into lust, it becomes quieter, not louder, more controlled, more selective. And if you're only looking for obvious signals, well, you'll miss the moments that matter most. Because when a woman secretly wants you, she doesn't give you a sign, she gives you a shift. And your nervous system notices it long before your logic does. Here's the first psychological anchor you need to understand. Attraction and desire don't operate the same way for men and women. From an evolutionary psychology perspective, expressing desire has historically carried more risk for women than men. Social judgment, safety, and reputation all matter. So the brain learns to signal interest without exposing vulnerability. This is called risk-calibrated signaling. Desire is communicated in ways that can be withdrawn quickly if the environment doesn't feel safe or reciprocated. That's why overt moves are rare in early desire. Instead, the brain leaks intention through behavior that feels accidental. Eye contact instead of words, proximity instead of touch, timing instead of compliments. There's also plausible deniability at play. Signals are subtle enough that if they're not returned, she can interpret them as neutral behavior. This isn't manipulation, it's a safety mechanism. And it explains why men who wait for explicit signals often think nothing happened, when desire was actually present the entire time. Attraction isn't hidden because it's weak, it's hidden because it's valuable. And the more intense the desire, the more carefully it's expressed. There is a moment that's hard to describe unless you've lived it. Nothing changes in the conversation. Same topic, same tone. But suddenly, you feel more seen. She listens differently, not just waiting for her turn to talk, but actually tracking you. Her reactions land faster, laughs come a beat sooner, silences stop feeling awkward. You notice she stays present when she could easily disengage. No phone, no drifting attention. And here's the strange part. She isn't doing more. She's doing less, but with intention. Fewer words, slower movements, more stillness. That's often the first moment desire appears, not through action, but through focus. When someone wants you, their attention stops scattering, and you feel it before you understand it. This is where most confusion happens. Interest and desire are not the same psychological state. Interest is cognitive, curiosity, friendliness, evaluation. The brain is gathering information. Desire is physiological. It activates the dopaminergic system tied to anticipation and reward. Less thinking, more sensation. That's why desire rarely comes with clarity. The brain doesn't announce it with words. It expresses it through tension. Psychologically, desire thrives on uncertainty. When outcomes aren't locked in, dopamine stays elevated. Too much certainty collapses attraction. This is why explicit compliments often feel flat early on. They move the interaction from anticipation to conclusion. Desire, instead, leaks through behaviors that preserve ambiguity. Lingering glances, delayed responses, moments where nothing happens, but everything is felt.
From a behavioral science lens, desire is less about approach and more about allowing proximity. She doesn't push forward, she removes resistance. And that's the difference most men miss. They look for pursuit, when desire often shows up as permission.
Sometimes the words stay completely neutral. She's polite, friendly, nothing you could screenshot as proof. But her body tells a different story. Her shoulders angle towards you without realizing it. Feet pointing in your direction. Shoulders opening instead of closing. The distance between you shrinks naturally. Not suddenly, just enough to feel intentional. You notice her movements slow down. Gestures soften. Breathing deepens. And here's the key moment. She doesn't correct it. When someone isn't interested, their body creates exits. When desire is present, the body stays. It lingers. It settles. And if you're paying attention, you realize something before anything happens. Her body already chose before her words ever could.
Let's break down the key signals your brain can pick up on, often before your conscious mind notices. 1. Gaze cueing. Prolonged eye contact triggers subconscious attraction. Even brief glances repeated over time increase perceived closeness. 2. Pupil dilation. A physiological response your brain can't fake. Dilated pupils often indicate arousal or interest, even if her smile seems casual. 3. Orientation bias. Her body subtly aligns towards you, shoulders, feet, torso. It's a nonverbal sign of attention and receptivity. 4. Open body loops. Arms uncrossed, hands visible, posture relaxed. These microsignals communicate safety and accessibility. 5. Mirroring. She unconsciously mimics your gestures or speech patterns. Mirroring builds rapport and signals comfort, a prerequisite for desire. These signals are powerful because they bypass rational filtering. She doesn't have to decide to send them. Her body does it automatically. The more of these micro behaviors you notice, the clearer her underlying attraction becomes. It's subtle, but it's real.
There's a different kind of attraction. Quiet, magnetic, effortless. She doesn't chase. She doesn't text first. She doesn't need to prove anything. And yet, you feel drawn. Like gravity just shifted in her direction. Maybe it's the way she leans slightly closer in conversation, or how she laughs just a fraction longer when you joke, or the way her energy fills the room without words. It's subtle, but unmistakable. You don't need a declaration. Her presence itself is enough. That's the hallmark of desire expressed without needing permission. When someone truly wants you, they create pull, not push. And for the first time, you notice, this attraction doesn't have to be loud. It just is.
Desire often hides in tiny, almost imperceptible behaviors, what psychologists call micro-behaviors. 1. Self-touch. Adjusting hair, rubbing arms, or subtly playing with jewelry. These movements increase arousal and signal availability. 2. Mirroring. Copying your gestures or speech rhythm unconsciously. It strengthens connection and signals alignment. 3. Vocal modulation. Pitch, tempo, and tone subtly shift around someone attractive. Higher pitch and softer tones often indicate arousal. 4. Preening behaviors. Adjusting clothing, smoothing posture, or tilting the head. Rooted in evolutionary psychology, these are displays of health and receptivity. 5. Subtle initiation. Touching a shared object, leaning in, or initiating small proximity. They allow closeness without overt verbal requests. The key, These actions are automatic. She doesn't have to decide to do them. Her nervous system communicates desire first, consciously later. Men often miss these because they expect overt signals, but desire doesn't shout. It whispers in micro movements that can feel almost invisible. Recognizing these cues gives you insight into true attraction long before words confirm it.
I remember a moment when nothing was said, yet everything changed. We were talking casually, nothing flirtatious. Then she paused, not awkwardly, not to think. She just stopped. The silence stretched a little longer than usual, and in that space, I felt it, the pull, the tension, the unspoken desire. She didn't fill the gap with chatter. She let it exist. And somehow, that made the moment electric. That's how desire often communicates itself, not through statements, not through touch, but through intentional stillness. The pause wasn't empty, it was full of meaning. And if you notice, it tells you more than words ever could. Desire doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's intertwined with attachment patterns and perceived safety. Secure attachment, comfortable expressing interest without overthinking. Signals are consistent and clear. Anxious attachment, signals may appear inconsistent. Desire is there, but fear of rejection blunts expression. Avoidant attachment, signals are subtle, fleeting, or delayed. She may want you, but won't show it openly. Psychologically, desire requires a sense of safety. The brain won't risk revealing vulnerability in an unsafe environment. This is why micro-signals often only appear once trust is established. Understanding attachment frameworks helps explain why some women communicate desire clearly, while others leak it only through subtle, almost hidden behaviors. If you misread safety cues, you might assume there's no interest, when in fact, desire is present, just waiting for the right context to surface. There's a moment when everything changes. Her guard drops without words. The walls she's held up soften. Playfulness replaces formality. She laughs more freely. Touches become lighter, natural, unforced. Her energy shifts closer to yours, almost magnetically. You notice it isn't sudden, it's subtle, like a tide rolling in. And then you realize desire only appears fully once she feels safe. Not just comfortable, safe. That's why some women seem distant at first. They want, but the context hasn't allowed it. Once safety is felt, every small gesture, lingering glance, soft touch, mirroring, becomes a clear signal. You didn't push, you didn't chase, you simply created space where she could want freely. Here's the hard truth. Most men miss desire entirely, even when it's right in front of them. Projection bias. We interpret signals through our own fears and expectations. If you doubt her interest, you'll downplay subtle cues. Overthinking. Analyzing every glance or gesture kills intuition. Desire is felt more than it's logically deduced. Fear of rejection. It causes men to avoid approaching or acknowledging signals. Sometimes pulling back too soon hides the very attraction you're seeking. Expecting obvious signs. Movies and culture train men to look for overt pursuit. When signals are quiet, they're often missed entirely. Neutrality misread, moments of pause, subtle touches, or lingering looks are easily dismissed as nothing. Yet, these are often the most telling signs of desire. Understanding these psychological barriers helps you see what's really happening, instead of imagining it isn't. Desire is often silent, but if you know where to look, it speaks loudly.
remember this shift clearly. I stopped searching for proof, stopped dissecting every look, every word. I became fully present instead. And suddenly, the signals grew clearer. The subtle touches, the lingering glances, the micro behaviors, they became impossible to ignore. She wasn't changing, I was. By letting go of control, I allowed desire to show itself. No pressure, no expectation, just awareness. It's ironic. The moment you stop chasing, attraction often becomes most visible. You feel it in the energy, the pauses, the presence. Not in words, not in forced gestures. And that's when you realize desire always communicates, even when you're not looking.
Once you notice these signals, how you respond matters more than the signals themselves. 1. Emotional regulation. Keep your calm. Excitement or neediness can overwhelm subtle desire cues. Desire thrives when tension is balanced, not chased away. 2. Match the pace. Mirror her energy subtly. If she leans in, you lean in. If she hesitates, pause too. This respects her rhythm. 3. Non-neediness. Desire amplifies when it's allowed to exist without being forced. Avoid over-texting, over-explaining, or demanding clarity. 4. Presence over proof. Focus on the experience of connection, not on decoding or testing her interest. Your awareness and calm presence become magnetic. 5. Subtle reinforcement. Respond with small affirmations, smiles, or light teasing. These maintain attraction without pressuring her to act overtly. Remember, desire isn't created by chasing or proving yourself. It's amplified by restraint, attentiveness, and emotional intelligence. This is the practical side of psychology, how understanding signals transforms how you interact and preserves the energy that makes attraction irresistible. By now, you've seen the pattern. Desire rarely shouts. It whispers. It lingers. It appears in pauses, glances, and tiny gestures. The women who want you most don't make it obvious. They signal subtly, carefully, and often unintentionally. And the irony is simple. The more you try to force clarity, the more you obscure it. The more you stay grounded, attentive, and calm, the easier it becomes to notice these hidden signals. Attraction is a dance, not a declaration. It grows quietly between the lines of conversation, in the spaces between words, in the rhythm of presence. If you pay attention and understand the psychology behind what's happening, you'll notice desire long before anyone says a word. It's there. Always. You just have to see it.